Hi, my name is Georgia, and this is my capstone presentation. I hope you enjoy. For my capstone project, I wanted to do something with event planning, so I decided to partner up with Isabella Pellizzari, who wanted to make a club involving helping kids in hospitals or hospital facilities. We both had different jobs for the club. My job specifically was more of the business side. I was the one who emailed and called all the hospitals to see which ones were available to get us in to see the children. I was also the one who decided that the reading club was better for the children due to health and safety precautions. Our capstone goal was to make a school club that we eventually called Jugglers for Joy, and have this club go to the children's facility and do crafts, read, or play games with the kids. Our goal for the club was to make the kids smile and enjoy their time with us. The core competency I used for this part of my capstone was creative thinking. I think creative thinking best describes my capstone because I had to think of all the ways to make it possible for us to go to the hospital facilities with limited public access due to illnesses and diseases, while making a club fun and a creative place where kids can come and enjoy. Since event planning interests me, the first person I thought of to be my mentor was Miss Cirillo. She runs most of the events that happen at school, and from all the events I have seen throughout my years at ND look amazing. Miss Cirillo is really close with my family, so I thought it would be a perfect fit for me to learn from her. My meetings with Miss Cirillo were great. I met with her one-on-one, and she taught me what she does for our school every day and how much planning and organization goes into event planning. She showed me how she organizes all her stuff, which is both online and in her notebook, and she taught me some of her shopping hacks and other great hacks she has learned from her years. I also had a meeting with a group of parents and Miss Cirillo. I listened as everyone made suggestions and comments, working together, trying to make the school events possible and amazing. My core competency that I used for my mentorship part of my capstone is verbal communication. With using this core competency, I was able to easily communicate with my mentor, which has benefited our meetings. I was able to learn and discuss my project while getting tips on how to make it better. For my work experience, I decided to split it up. For half of my work experience, I went to Stage Crew. Stage Crew is a group of students who give up their time after school to set up and design most of the props for different musicals and plays. My job usually is to find different costumes for the actors and match costumes to certain people. This connects to my capstone because I am planning for what people should wear and getting organized for big events. Stage Crew can get really chaotic, so by making sure I have everything organized and by keeping a list of everybody's names has helped me through the stressful times of musical and play season. For my other half of my work experience, I decided to use my work hours. I work at Canadian Tire as a cashier. This definitely connects to my capstone because working with customers, I always have to be on top of my game and make sure every single customer walks out feeling pleased and accomplished. My goal is to always make sure everyone has the best experience at Canadian Tire. This goes with event planning as well. I would want all my customers to be happy and pleased with all the work I put in. My core competency that I used for my work experience was critical thinking. In both Stage Crew and at my work as a cashier, I have to use my critical thinking skills all the time. Something may happen where I am the one who has to solve the problem and make it right. Whether someone loses their costume at Stage Crew and I have to find them something else to wear, or a Canadian Tire and someone has a bad experience or needs help, I will be able to help them and make sure they have a better and easier time and will come back in the future. At first, I was having trouble with my capstone. I knew I wanted to do something with planning, specifically for events. My first thought I had was to make a video about a day in the life of an event planner, but I couldn't find someone I could follow and shadow them around for the day. So I was stuck. I couldn't think of anything I could do. One day in CLC, I was talking to one of my friends about what she was doing for her capstone. As she was telling me her idea, it sounded like she had a lot of work ahead of her, so we both decided that I could help her being the business part of the capstone. At first, our capstone was going to go to different children's facilities like Children's Hospital, Ronald McDonald House, and Sunny Hill. We initially thought we would go once or twice a month to the children's facilities to do crafts, read, or play games with the kids, but after trying to get someone who could directly get us into the facilities was a lot harder than we thought it would be. We eventually found someone named Leslie at Sunny Hill who was willing to give us a shot. After emailing her back and forth and calling her a few times, we made arrangements to start a reading club at Sunny Hill, where they had been wanting a reading club for a while, but nobody was willing or had the time to do it. Our next step was to make sure we were able to make a club, so we had to talk to Mr. Delorier and explain what our plan was and get our club approved. After we got our club confirmed, we needed a sponsor. The first person we thought of was Mr. DeSantis. We thought of him because he's always on board with each and every student, and he was our social justice teacher at the beginning of the year, so we thought it was a perfect fit. He was on board and told us some tips to promote a new club at school. Bella and I decided to make posters and put them around the school announcing the day of our first meeting and the background of the club. When the first meeting took place, Bella and I were really upset and let down because after all the work we put into the posters and trying to promote the club, one girl showed up and our friends that we made showed up. This day was the lowest point in our capstone. When we talked to Mr. DeSantis, he suggested to go to every classroom and talk about the club and visually put the remind on the board and encourage everyone to sign up. At first, we were hesitant, but we did it, and it was the best thing we could do to start up the club. After visiting everyone, we got more than 20 people to sign up for the remind, which made us feel so great. After getting all the basics down, we had to figure out how many students would be allowed to come and exactly what our plan was moving forward to Sunny Hill visits. Leslie mentioned to us that sometimes the kids don't want to read or don't have that long of an attention span to just read for an hour while we're there. So we all decided to come up and get coloring books and blank paper so the children would have a choice on what they would like to do. When we got all the logistics down, we chose 5 people, including Bella and I, to go to Sunny Hill for our first visit. 2 kids came and it was amazing. They were so happy to be there and they loved us reading to them. 1 kid loved coloring and making paper airplanes. It was the best visit. Our second visit was a little smaller with 1 patient, and all of us took turns reading to her. It was fun. We all laughed and read almost every single book we brought. Our capstone was to make a school club and have the club go to a children's facility and do crafts, read, and play games with the kids. Our goal for the club was to make the kids smile and enjoy their time with us. My initial inquiry question was how to start and what are the steps to becoming successful. Throughout Capstone, this question has come up a lot. We came across bumps along the way, but we always went back, thought about what other steps we had to take to make the club the best and ways to fix our mistakes. There are many reasons my work experience, mentorship, and Capstone connect together. One reason is that they all involve planning. At Stage Crew, I have to plan people's outfits to match their character. At Canadian Tire, I have to be able to plan ahead to make everyone's trip easier. For my mentorship, I have to be able to plan meetings with Miss Cirillo. And for my capstone, I had to plan what Jugglers for Joy were going to do during our visits. The second reason is teamwork. They all involve working together as a team and communicating with each other. My last reason is helping others. With Stage Crew and my job, I have to be able to help anyone who needs it as fast and as best as I can. For my mentorship, Ms. Cirillo has helped me when I have questions about event planning, and for Capstone, Bella and I have to lean on each other and help one another because we were a team. My Capstone, mentorship, and work experience benefits all my core competencies, but one that I think fits the most is communication. Communication is a huge factor in a workplace, at home, or at school. I use my communication skills during my mentorship meetings. If I was confused or needed to ask questions, I was able to do so. During my capstone project, I was working with a partner, so communication is a key to make sure everyone was always on the same page. The same thing goes with my work experience. Stage crew and Canadian Tire get hectic a lot, and being able to communicate with people is so important so things don't get messed up. One struggle I had when starting my Capstone was trying to find a facility that would be willing to let a high school club come and visit sick children. Lots of the facilities we tried contacting were worried about health concerns and only let certain people come and visit. My proudest moment throughout this whole Capstone process is the actual Capstone and how it turned out. Belle and I worked so hard trying to make this club the best it could be, and it turned out so much better than I expected it would be. Being able to put a smile on the kids' faces and seeing them laugh always put a smile on my face and made me feel so good that we could start a club like this for our school. Unfortunately, this club got cut short due to COVID-19, but I really wanted to keep going with the reading club. I came up with this idea of having some sort of reading club on FaceTime or Zoom. It was a chance for me to keep in touch with some of the patients that enjoyed coming to our reading club. I haven't been able to do it yet, but I am waiting to hear back from Sunny Hill to see if it works out. I wanted to keep this going because it seemed like when we read to some of the patients, they had so much fun listening and looking at all the pictures. This time is hard for everyone, and if I could make it a little better, it would make me so happy. Thank you for listening.